But it seems like women's roles are a bit more malleable, whereas there's not quite as much flexibility when it comes to men's roles. For example, Nicolette, you said, well, if a woman, if she wants to be a boss babe and do porn, she can. But also, she can also be a single or stay-at-home mom and take care of the household. But you were very strong on men should pay for first dates.
You're right, I did say that. Should? I don't think should. I don't like that word should, but that's how you asked me.
Okay, well, I can ask it a different way, though.
In my opinion, I wouldn't put up with...
If you went on a date with a guy and he said 2 checks, will there be a second date?
No, but that's me.
I mean,
and
that's
I'm
another
not
way to
the
ask
same.
that question,
I'm not
though.
the same as her. So should doesn't exist.
Would you build a man up if he's like studying very hard and is getting somewhere in his life? So in like 2 years he will be like...
Well,
that man.
personally,
Would you like help him because you're like making already money? Would you like work together and help him up? Or is that a no-go if he would be like, you know what, I would love to take you on a date, but I cannot pay it full, but I really like you, I'm building something. Would you like be a team and like go forward together, or is that like a no-go?
Personally, myself, I turned 25 in a couple of weeks. I'm too old to help build a man up. And even if I did, in my 7-year relationship from 15 to 22, just like you, he still provided for me.
Yeah, but like 25 is still school age or
Yeah.
not. So how can he like really be
Not in
already
America.
that top level man already? That's
No,
hard on
not
a man.
for me.
It's a lot of pressure on a man actually.
So then I'm going to look something different than you would.
No, that's okay, but it's quite a lot of pressure you put on a man, right?
Well, he can accept it or not.
Men's prime is typically actually like early 30s, I'm pretty
Yeah, I
sure.
think
So
so, too.
they're like still building themselves up during their 20s. I guess that's why I understand you're not. I'm just saying like my perspective. That's why like with the last guy that I liked, I understood he's still going to school, he's still sorting his stuff out, and I would support him, if he needed help studying, like I'd be there with him, trying to be like flashcards, like little stuff like that. But I understand it's not for everyone.
And personally, I'm not dating guys my age. I'm dating older.
That already had something, so you will never help a man up. Only date a man who already has the things.
I want someone who will make me better.
But that's also like then you provide from him, right? So you will not help a man up, but you want a man to help you up.
Yes.
It's a bit transactional.
That's a little.
Yeah.
It's the same
Call
thing,
it what
but
you
different.
want. That's what I want. And you want something different that doesn't make me wrong or you right or vice versa. It's just what I want and what you want.
You want to meet someone at the finish line, and for example, I want to run the race with them, basically. That's just how I would put it in terms.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I met my husband, he was going to full-time. He like went to full-time school and worked part-time, and I dropped out of school after like 2 months, and so I worked all the time. And I loved when he would pay, but our dates looked like we're gonna go get coffee or we're gonna go get chips and guacamole, like very non-expensive dates. And it was great because he had to be really creative with what he had. So I didn't expect to go on luxurious dates at all, but I did expect him to, like, if you don't have money, then go buy like a loaf of bread and we're gonna go give them to the ducks at the lake or something. But he was still in that sense providing, and I saw how he was working extremely hard in school to one day, be a provider for a family.
And I'm not gonna lie, there's multiple ways to be chivalrous as well, in my opinion, like opening doors or like, I've had a man even like buckle me into my seat and like stuff like that, like, or cut my food for me. Maybe he can't pay for the bill, but he'll cut my food for me because he knows I like it in small pieces, like stuff like that. There's little things that men can do to show acts of kindness without money being involved.
But also keep in mind, I'm a stripper and I do OnlyFans, so my standard of man is really high.
But
Wait,
why
you're-
is that high? I'm on OnlyFans as well. You cannot say you're a valuable woman if you
Wait,
fuck
it's
every
high
guy.
because of that?
Yes, it's high because men give me money for nothing. So
Do you do scenes with men? That makes a difference.
So in the 6 years of me doing OnlyFans, I've done 4 male scenes.
So you want a man that's high value, only commits to you, but you can go to your job and be like, yeah, fuck it, it's just work.
Well,
I'm doing the same work. I do not do scenes with men, but
you accept less. So my definition of high value
I
is
accept
different
less.
than yours.
So you're being naked every strip week is me accepting. You accepting more of a man.
It's all
than me
about
expecting.
perspective. In my perspective, yes. In your perspective, I don't deserve a high value man.
Can you man be a gigolo or anything like that? Can he be a stripper, gigolo, anything? Can he go naked every day?
No.
But you can.
Yes. And they have to be okay with it or not, and that's their decision. which makes my pool of men much smaller, and I acknowledge that and I accept that.
So then your pool of men will be more high valuable than.
And
all
like
of
I
us.
said, everyone at this table's definition of high value is completely different. So we can't use high value. So if you say that, I can't say, oh yes, high value, high value. I'm explaining to you what my definition of high value. A high value man, to my opinion, is someone who will respect my work, respect my past, and still want to do that stuff for me.
I can concede that the definitions that everybody will have of high value would be different, but you would also have to concede that there's going to be uniformities which are agreed upon about what is not high value. So, for instance, let me give you an example of this in real time. At the table, raise your hand if a high value man beats the shit out of you.
Sorry, I thought you said doesn't. My bad.
No. Okay, so we can so then we can rule many things out as at least not being that thing.
Let's
Right?
act-
So
I would
if so hang on. So if we can rule a bunch of things out that aren't the thing, I think we can at least get somewhat closer to the agreement of what the thing itself is. So when you're talking about high value, don't you think that society, especially women, would view men who have more money than men who have less money as being probably more valuable, all things equal? Meaning if they have the same looks, generally the same personality, one just happens to be far richer, don't you think that the one would be considered generally more high valuable than the other by almost everybody's metric?
I agree with you completely. And what's actually people don't realize or don't want to admit is that OnlyFans girls and strippers, we get the most high value men approaching us.
No, because they're paying you for a good time.
Well, hang on. You're definitely not marrying them, and you're definitely not ending up with them, and that's definitely not who you end up getting a ring from and living the happily ever after Julia Roberts' Pretty Woman
We
life
are the
with,
transaction.
right?
Says who?
I will agree that for a time in your youth, that many of what you would consider these traits for high value, rich, handsome, this type of thing, probably do approach you around that age group. But I'm not sure what that proves exactly.
So it
or
proves
what
is
that
that
means exactly.
that story of that first date I went on where the guy brought me flowers on his birthday, 5-star restaurant. I met him at the strip club. I've met his parents. He wants to pursue something serious with me. So your point is wrong.
Well, no. Okay. Well, how come then? I see so many tales of kind of former prostitutes and former strippers on panels like these, hundreds upon hundreds of them all across the world, being interviewed by various people where they say, man, I really wish I hadn't done that because later in life it brought my value down such that I could not net the thing that I truly wanted. When I was in my 20s, men would utilize this for their own gain, but they were never putting a ring on it.
So the reason why they do that is because by doing OnlyFans or by being prostitutes, they did something that went against their morals and values. Me, I can sleep at night.
No, I don't think they're not talking about morals and values. Most of them are secularists, in fact. They don't have any objective morals or values. They just say, the thing that I
And that's
wanted
the
later
problem.
in life.
And that's the problem and why they're unhappy in their lifestyle. I can sleep at night saying, I have not done anything that goes against my morals and values, and I'm happy. And I have men who want to take me seriously.
I'm not saying it's against your morals or your values, though. That's
But
not.
yes,
that's
and I'm
not my
answering your
argument.
question. The reason why so many
But you
girls.
haven't even heard my argument. How could you answer to it?
Well, you said why do so many girls on these panels who are ex-prostitutes or whatever?
Yeah,
they
but your argument to that was to say it's because they did something which violated their morals or values. I'm telling you, no, they don't have any objective morals or values. They're saying this is fine within my moral paradigm. It's just that it made me miserable later in life because, as it turns out, when you're 35 and you fuck 200 men, and the beauty which is now fleeted, most men look at that and go, well, I'd rather not have that, right?
Well, that sucks for them.
Do you still date that man because
Yeah,
he gave
do
you
you
everything?
disagree that it's true?
You're still dating him,
Yes.
seriously.
Yes.
Can I ask
Yeah, but my
why you
question
have
is,
a
do you
double
disagree
standard?
that it's true that
why
men...
it's okay for you to do all these things, but not okay for him to do all those things?
Everything is a double standard. Can I explain it? No. Do I believe in it? Yes.
So you just have cognitive dissonance, like you just kind of take it as it is.
Yeah, I mean, if people think too fucking much about life and right and wrong and all this shit, just fucking do what makes you happy at the end of the day.
Was that your?
Said every serial killer ever?
Erroneous.
I didn't hear you.
I'm sorry, should a serial killer be a serial killer because it makes them happy?
As long as you're doing doesn't affect other people, I don't really give a
Serial
fuck.
killer kills
Yeah, but
people.
everything
What are
you do
talking
affects other
That's-
people. Everything.
I'm sorry.
There's nothing you do which does not affect other people. Nothing. Right now you're speaking, that affects other people. Okay, you going to the grocery store, that affects other people. You having a job, it affects other people. You spending money, it affects other people.
In a negative
the
way.
idea that everything you do doesn't affect other people is absurd. Everything you do
Doc
does.
Vinably donated $199. Brixon, I see you brought the Brain Trust featuring Nicolette. Angelic will end up with prize hubby. Nicolette, you will always be the disposable side chick.
Doc, thank you for the TTS, man. Appreciate it. Nicolette, you want to respond to Doc?
Love you. Keep donating.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Doc. Appreciate it. Andrew, did you want to continue on with?
Yeah, I just like to point this out that the idea that do whatever you want because it makes you happy as long as it doesn't affect other people in and of itself is absurd because basically everything you do affects somebody else. Almost everything I can think of really affects somebody else. So if that is the case, then doesn't it make it everybody's business what you do ultimately because it does have some effect on them?
Well, clearly you don't give a fuck what you do, how it affects other people, because you insulted me earlier by using a term I didn't even know. So you're a hypocrite once again.
But everybody
Yeah,
is
but
a
you said
hypocrite.
everybody's a hypocrite.
We say the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So you're
So if
saying,
everybody's a hypocrite, it's meaningless, right? That's a meaningless term at that point. You're just saying all of us have. It's like saying everybody's a human. It just doesn't mean anything if all of us are like. What does that mean? It's not saying anything anymore. And the reason you use an argument from hypocrisy is because you have no arguments. You don't even know it's fallacious. And so what you do is you use arguments from hypocrisy because you view hypocrisy as being like that of a thief or that of somebody who has nefarious intentions, and that's not even what it means. You don't even know what the hell you're talking about. So backing up real quick, even if I was a hypocrite, can you negate my argument or not?
what is your argument? Because you went a little
My
off track.
argument is that everything people do affects other people. So just making the blanket statement, wait a second, you should be able to do whatever you want as long as it doesn't affect anybody, doesn't mean anything.
Can I speak?
Yeah?
Okay. So as long as it doesn't affect people in a negative way,
Yeah, but how do you make that determination?
how do you make any determination of anything?
That's what I'm at. Well, I'm asking, I think we know how we make determinations of things. We would use intuition, feelings, logic, reason, all sorts of different things.
And
how we
according
make
to my
determinations.
feelings, reason, logic, I don't think what I'm doing is hurting other people except you because you seem really triggered right now.
I seem triggered? You're the one who's freaking out. You've been freaking out.
You know,
Like the
maybe-
entire panel, you've been freaking out.
Maybe if I had a cigarette, I'd be just
And
chill
by
as
the
you.
way, just saying you're freaking out, also not an argument. I wish you would actually respond to the argument. Do people not use intuition and logic and reason to make all sorts of judgment evaluations all the time? And often they're correct, right?
I literally just addressed that.
So the answer is yes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, don't you think intuitively most people, for instance, wouldn't let their 6-year-old watch your OnlyFans?
Yes.
Yeah, why?
Because it's illegal.
No, even if it was legal, do you think they would then?
So that would go against my morals.
Poor
Yeah, but
underscore
that's
life
not answering my
underscore choices
question.
donated $200. If I did one push-up every time the guntastic Nicolette said something profoundly idiotic, I'd look like Hercules by the end of the stream.
Yeah, but this doesn't answer my question. I'm not asking if it's legal, and I'm not asking if it's moral. I'm asking if you think people would just let them do that because it was legal. Obviously, they wouldn't, right?
Well, in other countries, 6-year-olds are legal and they're marrying adults. So yeah, they probably would.
That's not legal.
Yeah, we're talking about here in the United States, the country that we're in.
So you said it doesn't matter if it's illegal, right?
Yeah, even if it was not illegal, most people would still not let their children watch your OnlyFans page, right?
Well, that's probably not true because if you go to other countries,
It's not true?
And he's talking about
You think,
America.
so wait, you
No,
think if
yeah,
it was
he
not
said
a
if it-
crime? So you wait, I just want to make sure I got this right. if it wasn't a crime, you think most mothers would allow their 6-year-olds to watch your OnlyFans? I just want to make sure we got this clear.
Well, a lot of mothers in other countries marry off their 6-year-olds.
No, mothers in other countries aren't letting their 6-year-olds watch OnlyFans. What fucking delusional shit, and what type of methamphetamine are you smoking that you think in other countries mothers are letting their children watch OnlyFans, girl? Where did you come up with this bullshit?
I'm not saying it's right, but by your logic, you're saying, oh, if it wasn't illegal in other countries where shit is not illegal, that's illegal here, they're doing
Like
crazy
what?
shit. I just said, for example, marrying off their 6-year-olds.
Yeah, that's a completely distinct argument from this one that I'm making. Do you think that in other countries, even other countries, that if it were legal for mothers to allow their 6, 7, 8-year-olds to watch your OnlyFans, that they would do that? That they'd be like, sure, little
Yes
Johnny,
or no
go
question.
ahead.
Yes or no?
Would they allow them to? Is that the question?
Yeah,
Yeah,
would
yes
they
or no?
allow them to?
No.
Well, then there's some kind of shared intuition here for how you are negatively affecting tons and tons and tons of people. Because if your assumption is that little Johnny would, if mommy didn't say no, then your intuition's saying that you have a negative impact, isn't it?
Well, according to my knowledge, feelings, and reasons, I'm not aware of any 6-year-olds watching my OnlyFans. And if they are,
Yeah.
that says a lot to speak about the mother and the parents who are not watching their child well enough.
Yeah, right, but they shouldn't be, right? They shouldn't be doing that.
They shouldn't be, because my content is under a paywall where you have to be 18 years old and have an
Yeah,
ID
right,
to sign
I
up.
get that, but what I'm saying is that there's a shared intuition there then that you share with them. And so this has an effect on all of you doing your OnlyFans, in other words, has an effect on people, because if nobody did OnlyFans, no mother anywhere would have to worry about little Johnny watching OnlyFans, right?
Well, if you want to put it that way, I think everything in life is about intent. My intent is not for little Johnny to be jacking off to my OnlyFans. It's for little Johnny's dad to be jacking off to my OnlyFans.
Oh, what a fantastic argument. My intent when I was drunk driving wasn't to mow down that family with my car, so therefore I didn't do anything wrong, right?
I mean, if you want to, you're right. We're not getting anywhere with this conversation.
No, I think we will. So one more time, following your logic then, if I was a drunk driver and said it wasn't my intent to hit anybody, and I didn't do anything wrong, right? Because everything's about intent, right?
Wait, say that again?
Your logic, your argument to me was, I think everything revolves around intent. Everything is intent-based. So
Yes.
if that is the case, and if I was a drunk driver and mowed down an entire family, well, I didn't actually do anything wrong because that wasn't my intent, right?
Well, that you could say that for everyone at this table. Everyone has done things unintentionally to hurt other people.
Yes, but you know what they usually do? You know what non-psychopathic, non-narcissistic, non-lunatics do? They do something unintentionally to hurt other people, and they know that they've hurt another person. They usually do something about that so that they don't hurt people in the future, except, prostitutes, OnlyFans, women, people who make post hoc justifications for the horrible things that they do, which is horrible for all of society. They just make what I call cope arguments, where they say, no, it's okay because I'm not hurting anybody, even though obviously they share the same intuitions that I do that's bad for society.
Killer of
Just pointing that
Serial
out.
donated $200. All this talk about serial killing is making me hungry. Where's my bowl? No, officer, I was not stabbing that man to death. My intention was to just get some of his blood for a science project.
Right, it's all
okay.
about intent.
Yeah, thank you, Kill of Cereal, for the TTS, man. I appreciate it. Do you have, you want to continue, Andrew, or do you have more?
No, we can move the combo on from here.
Sure.